Hey everybody, how is it going today? In this video, I'm going to talk about another 3D printing stock that ARK Invest has been accumulating. This company has been doing business with Tesla already, but Tesla may have just gave a big hint about huge future business growth. This stock has been in a downtrend, but one analyst believes the market is missing the big picture. Shares have been up big on huge volume lately, so someone has been buying this stock heavily. In this video, I'm going to go over all the news and let you know if I think this stock is a buy right now. Now, before I get into it, I just want to take a minute and say thank you to everyone who has already subscribed to my channel and for hitting the like button on previous videos. I really appreciate you doing that. It helps out the channel in a big way. And if you're new to the channel, I like to find short-term and long-term trading and investing opportunities in typically lower-priced stocks. I like undervalued, underappreciated stocks with high growth potential, and I like to talk about all other things finance-related as well. If that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing to my channel so you don't miss any future trading and investing ideas. And also, I am not a financial advisor, so please do all of your own research before buying any of these stocks. The name of this company is 3D Systems. In case you haven't heard of them, I'm going to give you a brief rundown on the company and what they do, and then get right into the exciting news and the charts. Now, 3D Systems is headquartered in Rock Hill, South Carolina, and is a company that engineers, manufactures, and sells 3D printers, 3D printing materials, 3D scanners, and offers a 3D printing service as well. 3D system technologies and services are used in the design, development, and production stages of many industries, including aerospace, automotive, healthcare, dental, entertainment, and durable goods. The company offers a range of professional and production-grade 3D printers, as well as software, materials, and the online rapid part printing service on demand. Now, back in 2001, 3D Systems began an acquisitions program that expanded the company's technology through ownership of software, materials, printers, and printable content, as well as access to the skills of engineers and designers. The rate of 3D Systems acquisitions, which they had 16 in 2011 alone, raised some eyebrows with regard to the task facing the company's management team. Others pointed to the encompassing scope of the acquisitions as indicating calculated steps by 3D Systems to consolidate the 3D printing industry under one roof and logo to become a comprehensive one-stop shop capable of servicing each link in the scan, create to print chain. 3D Systems now employs over 2,400 people in 25 offices worldwide. Now, yesterday, for the second day in a row, shares of 3D Systems stock traded higher on big volume. 3D Systems shares rose over 18% yesterday and over 7% the day before, but while the run-up in share price on Tuesday was easily traced back to an analyst's bullish comments on the stock, Wednesday's news was a bit more of a reach. Now, many believe it's the news out of Tesla that is pushing 3D Systems stock higher. Specifically, it's a job posting at Tesla in which the electric car maker advertises that it's looking to hire a highly motivated additive manufacturing technician to operate 3D printing equipment in their rapidly growing additive manufacturing operations. Now, how big a piece of Tesla's manufacturing 3D printing will become remains to be seen, but Elon Musk's comments about wanting to build cars with single-piece casting speaks to the company's desire to simplify the manufacturing process with fewer parts, and 3D printing is the ideal way to help do that. The big question now is whether more 3D printing at Tesla directly implies more purchases of 3D printers and 3D printing materials from 3D Systems. Regardless, 3D Systems investors seem to be reading between the lines and are buying the shares up. On Tuesday, analysts at Craig-Hallum doubled down on an existing buy rating on the stock and insisted it was underpriced at just $5 and change. Craig-Hallum even predicted the share price would more than double to $11 within a year. According to an article on StreetInsider.com, the analysts see several near-term catalysts that could unlock shareholder value at 3D Systems. In particular, the firm believes that 3D Systems may be close to selling one or more major non-core assets, which would raise some much-needed cash for them. Now, ARK Invest holds 3D Systems in their 3D fund, ticker symbol PRNT. As you can see from the fund's performance, it has basically traded sideways since inception back in 2016. Now, 3D printing companies have disappointed on growth because of the slow adoption of this technology so far, but ARK believes that's going to accelerate very soon, so this sector, in my opinion, offers a lot of long-term potential and is one of the few sectors that ARK is involved in that hasn't taken off yet, so this could be a diamond in the rough right now. And if we take a look at the holdings in this fund, 3D Systems is the 12th largest holding, and the fund owns over 350,000 shares worth over $2.2 million. And if we look at what the insiders have been doing, we can see this company has a lot of transactions, but what is very interesting is in the last 3 months, there have been 19 transactions, but 15 of them were purchase orders that totaled over 635,000 shares versus only 4 sell orders that totaled only 8,700 shares. So insiders have been scooping up shares on this recent decline. Now, in my opinion, 3D System is making what's called a falling wedge. Now, the falling wedge is a bullish pattern that begins wide at the top and contracts as prices move lower. The price action forms a cone that slopes down as the reaction highs and reaction lows converge. In contrast to the symmetrical triangles, which have no definitive slope and no bias, falling wedges definitely slope down and have a bullish bias. However, this bullish bias cannot be realized until a resistant breakout occurs. Now, in this example of Rowan companies, you can see the converging of the trend lines occurring with volume starting to dry up near the end. Volume then starts coming back into the stock and you get a breakout to the upside and then the start of a new uptrend. Now, not all falling wedge breakouts are this strong. A lot break out and kind of go sideways for a bit before heading higher, but 3D Systems has a lot of volume coming in, so it wouldn't surprise me if the eventual breakout is quite strong. All right, so right here we have the current daily chart of 3D Systems. As we can see, it has been moving up big in the last few days on very big volume. And if I zoom in a little bit closer, you can see right now the day is still going on, but it is making a doji formation and just hanging out at the very top end range of the previous day's big bar. And that is extremely bullish. I think the odds are pretty good if it stays in this range. It could be moving to the upside in the next couple of days. This is an extremely bullish consolidation up here in this range. But if we look at yesterday's bar, we can see that it was up monstrous on huge volume. Normally, this stock trades about 3.5 million shares. And yesterday, it traded over 24 million shares, so roughly 8 times the average trading volume. That is large institutions coming in and taking a position. That is not small term traders, coming in for a short-term trade. This is typically large institutions that are making a long-term bet. But if I back out of the chart a little bit, I will show you that wedge formation that I was talking about earlier. And put the trend lines on it. It's making a very nice looking long-term descending wedge. Falling wedge, they also call them. But a breakout to this level would be extremely bullish for the long-term prospects of 3D Systems. If I zoom in just a little bit, if it breaks into this range, that means it's going to have broken through this 200-day simple moving average and this trend line. Now, what I would like to do, I know it's a long ways away, but I would like to be a buyer if it broke through these two, broke through this moving average and this trend line and then pulled back and touched that trend line. I like to enter them when they break through the trend lines and then kiss the channel. They call it kissing the channel goodbye. When you see them break through, come back, touch them, and then move higher. And that is very typical with these patterns. A lot of the times you will see them come back and touch that channel before they take off again. And I just like to enter them there because it is a lower risk trade for me. If it fails to break through this trend line and starts trending in this area, I know that it's at least a failed breakout for the moment, and I can take my small loss and wait for it to possibly break out again, because you can always re-enter the stock. Like, it doesn't bother me to take a small loss and just sit back and wait and make sure that the pattern is confirmed. I think of it as kind of an insurance policy. You're not upset when you buy insurance for your house and it doesn't burn down, because you're just protecting your capital. You're just protecting your capital, but or maybe you are upset when your house doesn't burn down. I don't know. Everybody's different, but I like to protect my capital but that way by just taking smaller losses and waiting for the pattern to confirm it if it hadn't confirmed when I had entered. But if we move to a weekly chart, we can see that that pattern jumps out to us even more clearer. And with all this big volume moving in, I think the odds are pretty favorable that we could be getting a breakout through that channel or through that trend line sometime in the near future. But that is the charts as I see them, guys. I just wanted to show you that. Now, 3D Systems currently has more debt than cash on its books. And through the first half of this year, it was burning cash at an annualized run rate of more than 56 million. So the big question is, can 3D Systems remain solvent until the 3D printing sector really ramps up in the next few years? And that's a question I keep asking myself. I definitely think they're going to have to sell some more shares to raise capital to sustain operations, but in my opinion, I think they will make it through it and not go bankrupt, but it's definitely a big risk at this point. That's probably the biggest reason I'm not investing in 3D Systems just yet, but you can't help but be encouraged by the recent trading activity and the potential big news coming out from Tesla. Now, a big contract with Tesla would be a game changer for this company and make all those financial issues seem not so big anymore. As for me, I'm going to remain on the sideline and continue watching this one, but I'm going to keep a close eye out for any more news with Tesla. Tesla is expected to grow immensely in the future, and that growth could carry 3D Systems with them. All right, folks, well, that's all I have for you today, so I'm going to end the video right there. Let me know in the comments section if you like trading these wedge-type formations, and if you trade them differently, if you have a different strategy, let me know about that in the comments section. Also, let me know if you're bullish on this 3D printing sector, and if you have a better company that you're watching than 3D Systems. 3D Systems isn't one of the better companies in this sector, but I thought it was pretty interesting that they were up big on that news out of Tesla, and it was up on such big volume. But please like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching my video, and until next time, take care, everybody.